look, I've seen certain critiques of the album. They're saying that the album itself isn't that good. One of the comments I saw said, I criticized Taylor Swift's new album and didn't even get any death threats. It really must be bad. But I don't know about all that. I know that she's being criticized for being a MAGA capitalist, whatever the hell that means. Otherwise, just a normal person who wants to make money off of their, the fruits of their own labor. But Taylor Swift is now falling into controversy because there is just so much promotion coming out for this album right now that there is this new series of videos. It's a series of promo shorts where they're basically showing you orange doors that bring you into a hidden lounge that is full of the Taylor Swift QAnon fans, Easter eggs and all this stuff. And fans find them with QR codes. It leads them to 12 major cities. It's like Vegas, Barcelona, Chicago, Milan, etc. And what they're saying is that these videos, or at least some of these videos, look to have been made with AI. And Taylor Swift has, of course, spoken out about AI in the past. Let's watch this video first and you can see what we're talking about.
This is an AI video, huh?
That's what they're claiming. Coat hanger, definitely. Okay, so I'll point it out here. Okay, so see the up in the top right corner. It might be hard for if they're watching the video. There's 3 coat hangers on the rack. Look at the third coat hanger just disappear from the shot right there. Yes, and there's plenty of critique there. So let's go back through and look at some of what these people have said. So this is what her initial comments were on AI. Remember when Trump posted the AI video? Hold on, let me turn that back down. When Trump posted the AI video of her supporting him for president, he reposted it. She made this comment. She says, like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances that these candidates take on the topics that matter to you the most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about their proposed policies and plans for this country. Recently, I was made aware that AI of me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted on his site. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for this election year as a voter. So there was also a string of AI controversy about AI porn made of Taylor Swift. And if you look up Taylor Swift in AI on X, the post fails. It won't show you anything. You can look up any artist and look up AI and you'll get quotes about them talking about AI. You'll get videos. But if you search up Taylor Swift on X and you look up Taylor Swift AI, nothing shows up because of what happened, and all people were putting legislation forth for her because of those claims. The same stuff happened to Scarlett Johansson back in the day. Here is this other person's post showing you their finger like basically phasing through the napkin. See that?
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely doesn't look real. So the speculation is that it was made with like VO3 or Sora, and that it was a collaboration with a tech company because she's not doing any promotion for these videos. And the second the backlash started, they pulled them. They're no longer available. Like, obviously, people are reposting them because they downloaded them, but they pulled the initial run of all of these videos.
Look, I mean, even if it was Taylor Swift that's making videos with AI, right, to promote her record, like, the argument that she made against Donald Trump making an AI video is totally not, it's about the context of the video, not about the use of AI more broadly. So the idea that people would have a problem with her using AI because she complained about Donald Trump making an AI video of her.
I mean, it was also about the AI porn and stuff like that.
Well, again, but this is the content of the stuff, not the actual technology. People have a problem where it seems people are making an issue where there is none. She has a problem with the content of what was being done without her consent, not an issue with the medium that created the promotion.
Yeah. Fans have also resurrected Swift's comments made during the release of her first re-recorded album, an initiative she undertook to gain control of her music after the masters were sold to a third party. Artists should own their own work for so many reasons, but most screamingly obvious one is that the artist is the only one who really knows that body of work. So they're basically saying that because she re-recorded her masters and it was about ownership of the music, they're talking about the fact that AI is trained on, whether it's these videos where it had to have been trained on somebody to make the hands or the coat hangers or whatever was in that shot, that, they're using other people's work to create this art.
That's super weak because there are endless pictures of hands and, nameless body parts on the internet. So the idea that, oh, look, this is a bad thing because they used people without their consent, blah blah blah. Give me a break. That is the worst argument I've ever heard.
This person says Taylor Swift using generative AI to create videos after being staunchly for artists owning the right to their own work is the most hypocritical, tone-deaf thing I've seen her do in a long time.
That's a dumb person looking for something to be mad about.
This one says, all this talent and you guys couldn't make those letter hunt videos yourself. Your choice to use generative AI actively hurts, devalues, and steals from all the artists you're standing next to.
What are you talking? How does it steal from other artists?
This one says, okay, so this one is from Brian over at Popcast, guys. Great dude. He says, this isn't all AI. I think one shot is AI generated and another is an AI dolly shot from a still, or it was shot at a super low frame rate and then interpolated up. I don't know whether that's true. That's his assessment of what he's seeing here. And this one says, don't stop talking. First of all, there's a whole hashtag called Swifties against AI that is full of very, very rabid fans. This one says, don't stop talking about the AI videos just because they're private now. Quietly taking them down isn't enough. Taylor needs to publicly apologize for stealing other artists' work by using generative AI and acknowledge the devastating environmental impacts. Well, she won't even address the environmental impacts of her plane usage. I don't think she's going to address the environmental impacts of... So there was actually one post that I did actually laugh at. It was basically, it's like Taylor Swift says she's not going to be touring as much, but the environment is still going to suffer. Like she's not going to fly as much to go on tour, but she's still going to ruin the environment by doing stuff with AI. And this one says...
all of the criticism of Taylor Swift is the exact type of criticism that you would expect from brain-dead women, like children.
This one says, seeing the AI disclaimer on most of her Showgirl posts. So on Instagram, they're adding possibly AI content warnings, meaning like this video, this picture may have been manipulated with AI, and it's showing up. I don't know if that's like a community, like if it's the same thing as community notes on X, like somebody says, oh, I think this might have AI, and then they're able to critique it. I don't know if that's the way that works, but it's showing up on her videos there. And it kind of goes back to what I saw from one of the super chats there earlier, was that, people are critiquing the album because they don't feel like she's growing much as an artist. And when people don't have to, and when people aren't speaking about the music itself, when people aren't excited about the music itself, they're going to go to other places to find their information to care about. And on top of that is the fact that the second that she settled down with Travis Kelce, a lot of people are critiquing her for that as well. And I'm sure we'll get in more to that later this week. But it's just, when half your audience are the ones who would identify people as MAGA capitalists, you're going to get this type of pushback.
I question whether it's actually half her audience. I think that
I threw that up as a random number. It's a very loud number, but then again,
I'm a very vocal minority.
I'm hesitant. I guess the album sales would make that true, right? Like I'm hesitant with the idea of vocal minority because they've been saying that about us who have critiqued movies for a very long time. But the sales for movies show that it was not a vocal minority.
Yeah,
it was a vocal minority speaking that resonated with a non-vocal majority, whereas this may be a vocal minority speaking, but the album sales being what they are seems to indicate that it doesn't resonate with the rest of the audience.
If people were actually upset, they would not be. If people actually didn't like the music, then people would not be listening to it. And there's a lot of people out there that would check out Taylor Swift stuff, but you wouldn't have all these records being broken if it wasn't good quality music, and she didn't have a fan base that really did like what she put out.
Do you have a favorite album from her or a favorite song?
My favorite song is Style. My favorite record is probably 1989, but I really, really love Red as well. I think Red and 1989 are her best work.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of criticism for Taylor Swift. I think she's really great.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get started with like the main show,
Shane H. Wilder has a $20 here.
Go for it.
My only critique is that many of the songs are just using others' music with different lyrics. Woods being the Jackson 5's I Want You Back, and Actually Romantic being the Pixies' Where Is My Mind, among others. Listen, man, there's only so many notes. There's only so many different ways you can put them together.
What's that famous video of the guy doing the 4 chords?
Yeah,
and
the 4
he
chord.
plays every song.
4-chord song. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there are only so many notes. There are only so many ways you can put them together. And people tend to gravitate to certain intervals.
Yeah.
Right? Like 1-4-5, the
Even
whether it be in this, and that's one of the things about the 4-chord song. All those songs aren't necessarily in the same key. It's just that the chord progression is the position, so the intervals between the chords as they go are what's the same. So you could play a song that's in the key of E, right, and then play a song that's in the key of C. But if you're playing the root third fifth, you can actually make it sound like that song, even though you're playing it in a different key.
And even somebody who doesn't play music, they understand it without understanding it.
Yes.
Yeah. Hold, please. I knew you guys wanted Mary back. We're halfway there. Let's go.
There you go.
All right. So, I did listen to a decent amount of the album. I thought I'd share my thoughts on it, though. Admittedly, nobody comes to me for music critique of any sort, but look, I did listen to quite a few songs on the album. I listened to Fate of Ophelia, Opalite, I listened to Canceled, Father Figure, Ruin the Friendship, and Actually Romantic. For reference, if you're trying to gauge where I would sit musically, I do love a lot of music that comes from female vocalists, especially a lot of Illenium with female backing, Valerie Broussard, Culture Code, Kiara, Terror Jr., Polika. I would say my tastes would be, if we're judging it based on pop stars, I'd be closer to enjoying more of Ellie Goulding than I would Taylor Swift, especially early Ellie Goulding.
Yeah.
I think my issue, and also, I'm not going to critique the lyrics. Look, I'm deaf in one ear. Music is all vibes for me. It's all about the backing track and vibes. I'm not going to get heavily in and dissect what those lyrics mean or what it means for society. If she suddenly dreams about, settling down and having kids, all great. Doesn't matter to me because that's not what I'm listening for when I listen to music. The only track in this album that really connected with me of the ones that I heard was Canceled. And that's because I felt that it had a very, very unique backing track that just felt more in line with something that I would listen to, stuff from her electronic. What's up?
I'm just on Spotify alone, Lights by Ellie Goulding is at 379 million spins. Just on Spotify.
The Jackwab remix of Starry-Eyed is one of my favorite songs of all time from Ellie Goulding. But look, I don't know if that song has to do with Blake Lively. I saw people talking about that. I just liked the way it sounded. If I'm talking about Taylor Swift stuff that always resonated with me, it would have been I Knew You Were Trouble, because it was almost dubstep-ish in its production. I really like Style because the backing track of that song sounds like it could have been from a Miami Vice montage. And there was even a really great electronic remix of You're Not Sorry that I really, really liked. And the other stuff that I liked from Taylor Swift was her country stuff, I'd Lie, Tim McGraw, Should Have Said No. But that type of influence, those two genres of influence, spoke more to me than her new stuff. And the same stuff happened with an artist named Dermot Kennedy for me, who used to have a very similar, he had an electronic element to his music, almost a type of digital reverb that he'd use on his backing vocals. And when he kind of shed that skin in his later albums and went towards a more traditional vocal style, I still liked it, but it didn't resonate with me the way way that his earlier work did. And I think the same would be true for me with Taylor Swift. I really liked the stuff that I heard on Red in 1989, because it felt more traditionally pop and leaned into, at least some of the songs felt like they had a more electronic element. This one personally did not. It feels to me now, and this is just my, an outsider looking in, I'm not like an aficionado on the lore, but she makes music for Taylor Swift fans, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. If you know what your your bag is, you know what your fans are looking for, and you want to create art that speaks to them, then I see nothing wrong with that. It's just this one didn't personally speak to me. But I did think that the song Canceled was good. But the rest of it, at least from what I heard, it's not something I would listen to again. But I think that she does an incredible amount of work, considering they were saying that she wrote this album during her, while on the most successful tour of all time. Whatever. That's pretty damn impressive. So thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.